news, the god-awful news, because if you think the news is bad today, you wait, tomorrow's going to be worse. If you thought the news was bad yesterday, today's is worse than yesterday. And that's why this is the god-awful news. The news that this horrible president and everyone associated with him, every single Republican in our country, will deliver on. They will bring us worse news every day. They are the most corrupt group of people. We call them Republicans, the most corrupt, depraved, godless, soulless, evil people that were ever born. But fortunately for their sake, they can flip a switch. They can stop being disgusting pigs and make a pledge to never vote for Republican again as long as they live. Anyway, let's get down to the news. Millions and millions of people protested the abhorrent behavior of said criminal Republicans all weekend. Millions. I attended a protest. I went there live. I realized the connection wasn't very good, but it was better at times. That's why I have to tell myself, right? Aloha. I have to tell myself, go slow, right? That's why a live feed kind of only works when the camera is stationary, mostly. So I gotta move even slower next time. I gotta stop and not move and let the movements in front of me, right? The camera can't be moving and handle people moving at the same time, I think, when I'm going live. Anyway, maybe someday I'll figure out how to improve that. I'm sure there's ways. With this learning incapacity, I don't want to call it a disability, but I have a learning incapacity. Oh, so of course you saw all that, and at the top of the list is now, and it's so gross what the Republicans are doing. They're so god awful. A judge has now said by tonight at 12 o'clock, he needs to be back in the United States. Just one guy. Of course, we need the gay hairdresser, and we need the soccer player. And probably all of them back. I mean, the part where they're just so gleeful about arresting these beautiful, hard-working people who've come to our country just because they don't want to get killed by their government or their neighborhood. They want to work their ass off. And this perpetual pleasure to capture these people, to kidnap them from their homes without a warrant or from their job at the dairy or the ranch or the farm or out, this guy, and it's so weird because she takes something that doesn't sound like I think she thinks it sounds. Pam Bondi is such a dumb person. And what she's trying to do is sow fear in everyone that person working is really a gang member, right? She says, can you believe this guy was hanging drywall? Right, because that's what these guys are doing here. They're not gang members involved in gang activity. They're working 60 hours a week, hanging your drywall, doing your landscaping, cleaning your house. And you want to target these people because you're just pure evil and you're stupid. And all these people in that disgusting world, class of people, they're all using this labor. They all have gardeners and landscapers. They're all employing these people. And anyway, it is one of the many things, the shoes to drop, that's going to affect the stock market, right? All things are related. And if you don't think crushing the labor that produces all of what we consume is gonna end well or start well or affect things well, of course they're wrong, right? I mean, it's blatant ignorance. It's unbelievable. Oh my God. Ugh. And so they're arresting scholars and students and workers. Yeah, these are the worst people. They're not gang members, scholars, students, workers. That's who these sick and twisted criminal Republican traitors are going after. The best among us. Oh, God. People go to their Catholic church on Sunday and then go to work the rest of that day, working 7 days a week, making our country work. Remember the pandemic when we gave a shit and we were like, oh, thanks for doing all the work and putting your lives at risk for for separating chicken for us in a meat packing plant. I mean, and now we got to go in there and arrest these people. Oh, God. Republicans are godless, soulless traitors. Pure evil. And there's so much evidence. Pretty much all the news speaks to that. And that's the sad thing. All this evil, all the news of Republicans' evil is dominating the news cycle, not allowing us to even get on with anyone's lives and have normal news, because we can't get to the normal news because there's so much god-awful news from these god-awful Republicans who want to do harm to everybody. And there is a little bit of good news coming up. If John's watching, I can't wait to share this with him because it's from his neighborhood. I think he might even know what it is. Anyway, of course, the protests are of many things, including stopping genocide, right? None of these Maui protesters that want to stop genocide are pro-Hamas, nor are any of the scholars or students or workers or any protesters. They're the last thing you got to fear. What you got to fear is the recruitment of employees in the federal government to detain you, and now they're recruiting in the Nazi and Klan populations because that's who they want, working for them. White, racist psychopaths. All right. So everybody hates Musk. We knew that already. Although they hate him more now, and he feels it. His stock price today dropped more than half below its peak, but still has a ways to go. About a year ago, it was down around $150 a share. It's still at $230, but $244 was half of what its peak was. It was at $488. So $244 is the benchmark of 50% off, and it's below that. I think it's like $233 today, $235, somewhere around there. I've got Bloomberg. I haven't seen the final closing. I know it's down. I think it was down. Who knows? It was a volatile day. So while you may not think it, everything affects everything. Wall Street is connected to Main Street and vice versa, but the two worlds generally live separate. But right now they're converging. The bad news from Main Street is affecting Wall Street and vice versa, and politics. Often politics lives its own world. Business news is separate. It's all just numbers. But it's all a disgusting mess because of the bribe takers and bribe makers of the Republican Party. Everything they do is corrupt, is driven by a bribe, taken or given, or extortion. Right now we're extorting through these tariffs all the countries in the world. And of course on Fox they lie and say, oh, the doctor's here to revive the patient, and oh God, the things they say, I can't even think about it without just my mind melting because it's so disgusting. But yeah, I watch Fox News and see their lies, and it is, I watch Fox News so you don't have to because it's gross. It's just gross. Not one fact, not one truth, just one lie after another, and all designed to try to twist your freaking brain. And then America being for sale is sad, right? Trump selling $5 million memberships to criminals, rapists, thugs, murderers, while he rounds up drywall workers and farm workers and dairy workers with their children, which is coming up. There's just this awful, and this is just one of many, but this one hits close to home and is so, boy, is it, it's special. There is one good news today, and I'm gonna save the good news. All right. So while all this happens, while genocide goes on, and Israelis target literally every day as a war crime, they just unearthed one war crime with evidence to support it in all kinds of ways, but there are 5 war crimes committed every day. I mean, just last night, what was it that was hit last night? a place where all the journalists were staying. So they killed like 50 journalists overnight. Yesterday they bombed a school, killing over 100 people. 50 of them were women and children. They bombed a hospital the day before that. They bombed a refugee camp at some tents before that. We just bombed in Yemen a bunch of people doing a religious ceremony in a circle, holding hands like we do here before a canoe race. And we just annihilated them all. Pete Hegseth. They haven't stopped bombing in Yemen. They just aren't publicly broadcasting it on signal anymore. But they haven't stopped. That holy war is still going from the Christian nationalist, sick pig, Pete Hegseth. Murderer, traitor, freaking inferior white man, making us all look bad. Oh my God. And then Musk, of course, if you didn't see it, he criticized Republicans because, of course, free trade helps people, helps business in general, and Tesla hopes to do business in general. And so he's like, I hope the tariffs go down to zero, and that we have free trade, exactly zero free trade, or zero tariffs, which just flies in the face of everything Republicans are saying and doing, which is going to make them immediately unpopular with Trump. And now that Trump's already gotten everything he can out of him, and he's toxic, I think there's a breakup. He left him at the White House, I guess, where he just crashes, and he went to Florida to hang out with the murderers of Jamal Khashoggi and the perpetrators of 9/11, the Saudi Arabians, who are filling his pockets with money through Live Golf. The reason I'll never golf again. Never. When I saw all our golfers just capitulate, guys that were already plenty rich, but then they took, $500 million contracts from the Saudis to leave the PGA to go create the Saudi Arabian Golf League. Yeah. I don't think that's good for the sport. It sure turned me off. I was trying to give my clubs to my son, and they were at my house when my house burned down, but I had already given up on golf. It's also just an abhorrent nightmare for the environment. The pesticides, the herbicides, the clearing of the land to put that there, in the desert or in a, what was a rainforest, and then all that runoff into the lake or the ocean that's near it, all those chemicals. It's not good. And so I apologize. If you love golf, I realize it has redeeming qualities. And if you're a married couple that enjoys golf together, that is a great way to spend a lot of time together. So that's the one case where it's like I have found myself a little bit jealous of these sweet couples that spend there's no way you're not spending quality time together when you're golfing all day. And often, there's not enough of that, right? So that's kind of cool. Russia, of course, agreed to a ceasefire, or no, there was a ceasefire. Zelensky, Ukraine, agreed to our proposal for a ceasefire, and of course, that's just an invitation for Putin to bomb more. And so he's been targeting Zelensky's hometown. Again, Russia invaded Ukraine. They are the criminal perpetrators here. If you're dumb enough to believe a Republican, you might not know that. You might not know facts. Oh, God. Oh, man, when are they going to put up the numbers? Come on. Is this Bloomberg or is this Bloomberg? What's wrong with them? Do I got to go to Schwab? I don't have a cable, so I can't just have CNBC cranking all the time. But come on, man. I need some. I bet you just basic, like, MSNBC is better. Dave Ramsey. God. That guy recommended voting for Trump, because he wanted his people to keep their assets. Because he's a financial guru. He supported the destruction of your 401k and your country and freedom and everything that's good. Oh my God. That's when I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I saw this guy who claims to be, smart with money. Dave Ramsey, he makes lots of money selling books about what you're supposed to do with your money. Yeah. Dumbass. Oh God, it is just, and then of course all the business news is the same. Everyone's talking about, oh, now's the time to buy the dip, and I'm buying a little bit here and there. I'm gnawing around the sides. All the usual suspects saying all the things you would expect them to say, and all the people that now want to capitalize. If you haven't seen YouTube, it's full of people telling you advice on what to do now that the stock market's down 6, 7, 8,000 points, because they can help you through this. Where were they? When I was I hate to sound like Cenk Uygur. All right, where were they 10 days ago when the stock market was peaking? Were they telling you, hey, the stock market just peaked? It's time to figure out your portfolio and protect it and sell some shit because you can buy it back cheaper? Like Nike just went from $96 a share to $53 a share. Right? 100 shares of Nike cost $9,600. Now it's $5,300. That's buying Nike on sale to some extent, unless it goes down further. Where is the bottom, right? That is everyone's curiosity, right? And so people are saying buy the dip, or now it's becoming affordable, or it makes whatever. The truth is, we don't know. We don't know. I still don't even know at the market close. We don't know what we don't know, which is what all the bad numbers are going to reflect. We don't know the devastating effect of the supply chain disruption that just happened. What about the labor force disruption? What about all these people being detained that are doing all the work in our country? And what about all the people that are being told, you got to leave right now, who are working, doing all the work? All the people from multiple countries. Now we're adding more to the list of countries of people that we have told you got to get out of here. You were here on protected status. You're from South Sudan. You're from Venezuela. You're from Cuba, Nicaragua. You're from any African country, any Muslim country. It doesn't matter. We are just indiscriminately becoming a racist government who shows hatred through its policy. It's gnarly. $6.6 trillion lost so far, although maybe more today. God damn it, don't they just show them? The market's closed. Are we going to show some numbers? There's no numbers on this screen. Here we go. What does it say? God, I'm seeing a chart and no numbers. Well, it was down today. Is that today as of April 3rd? No. That was a couple days ago. S&P 500 index. Anyway, understanding 2025's pullback. Oh yeah, they're going to try to rationalize it for you. No, it's because we have an imbecile for president, and imbeciles in all parts of government, and the harm they're doing. John, okay, 349 points. John, all right, you're here. This is so great. I'm so excited. So excited. So, how about Sackface? Sackface Tom HOMAN, who lives upstate New York, baby, right above Syracuse in, what is it, Sacketts? What's the name of that town? I got it written here somewhere. Sacketts. Sacketts Harbor, New York. Tom HOMAN. A man who's kidnapping people. Dancing on the graves of innocent, beautiful, hardworking people. Good parents, good friends, good neighbors. And right down the street from Tom HOMAN's house, people in the dead of night, without a warrant, illegally, their house broken into by ICE detention. Scoops up a mom and her 3 kids, a third grader, a 10th grader, and an 11th grader, in a town that loves these nice, and she's a dairy worker, right? Oh, you're in New Jersey. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought maybe that festival was near your house. All right, well, nevertheless, still a lot closer to you than me. But you know, when you get angry and mad at what you see, the crimes being committed against humanity, against Kilmar Abrego Garcia, right? It just makes you ask yourself, oh, if I knew where that guy lived, what if everyone knew where he lived? Okay, so apparently he's from this area. And just like Elon Musk, he might not want to be hated by everybody, especially in his hometown where he wants to spend the rest of his life. And now everybody hates Tom Homan, Sackface in Sacketts. And you know that's what they called him growing up, Sackface, because his whole face looks like a scrotum. Anyway, sorry if that offended you. But so there's going to be a march. The school superintendent's like, we want our and where did they take them to? Texas, so they can fund an evil detention center, right? Get some tax dollars to Texas. It's gross. It's gross. A 3rd grader, a 10th grader, 11th grader, all just illegally detained. The best among us, right? So it is just ripping the heart out of this small community. It's like a town of less than 2,000 people. And every person in this town hates its most famous resident, Tom Homan, and they know where he lives. And they're going to march to his house. And the big pussy has already announced they're going to declare it a national emergency when the peaceful protesters march to his house. It's getting personal. That's right. And that's why you ICE detention people who are committing crimes against humanity, who should quit your jobs, should keep your faces covered. Because if anyone knew who you were, your life would never be the same. I'm not going to do it, but I'm sure there's people out there that are going to do nothing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Tesla down, Apple down, NVIDIA. Oh, all of them down today. No, okay, fine. Okay. All the tech companies were down today. Looks like I don't see any bump up. Year-to-date change, just awful. Boy, Tesla really threw it in the shitter. So sad. Anyway, so Tom Homan, people got his number. They know where they live. He just literally down the street from his house just kidnapped some people and had them removed from his own community. And it's all a crime. It's all so heartbreaking. This poor mother and her 3 children are all just terrified and now freaking victimized. And now they're going to have PTSD for the rest of their life once they get out. But it's just one more action. And then, of course, Republicans are going to stand insolently like, oh, no, we had every right. No, they were really dead. They were really in a gang. They're going to just lie and deny and cause harm and pain and dance on the graves because they are devil-worshipping sick. Oh, there is no Christian. There is no Jesus in any of their shit. And that yet some of them actually think that's who they are. They identify as Christians. And all they do is, thou shalt, are these the commandments? Thou shalt lie, steal, kidnap, rape, murder, bear false witness. I mean, Trump used to sleep with all his friends' wives, right? Covet your neighbor's wife. You're supposed to do all that stuff. Those are the commandments, right, of today's Christians. The Christian Republicans. This is what they believe. You gotta be hateful and do lots of harm to really earn your stripes as a Christian. And so, yeah, Pete Hegseth keeps bombing those innocent people in Yemen like he just did. While Trump golfs, all this is going on. Whew. All right, so we got measles still spreading. Another child died thanks to incompetence out of Washington. I hear JFK for the first time ever, has mentioned that there's a vaccine, the MMR vaccine. That's right. We waited to give it to our kids a little bit longer because that was the one that might help induce autism. At least that's the word on the street, right? So instead of giving it to our kids when we were told at whatever 6 months or a year or 18 months, we waited another year. We did it at like 2.5. Whatever. Yeah, measles spread like wildfire because we have incompetent people in charge, which doesn't give us any vote of confidence with our bee crisis, right? We're going to have a problem pollinating food. Are we going to do anything about that? Do we have any scientists working? No, we just fired all the scientists because we are abject morons, right? Our government is full of abject morons who are causing us harm in so many ways you can't even list them. It's like 1,000 different ways that people are being murdered or dying everywhere because of things we're not doing, we could be doing, or we're just actually overtly doing. It's brutal. So let's see here. So there's this case that's now public. People were thrown, some of which were still alive, into mass graves and buried alive. They were all ambulance, fire trucks, and ambulance workers with lights on. The Israeli army lied about all of it, and now it's all becoming, it's all come into the light. And now the Israeli government saying, oh yeah, we admit we made a mistake. And they do that every day, purposely. They are committing genocide, all out genocide. And they're forcing everyone in Gaza to different places, moving them out. They're going to create buffer zones. But they're just taking land. They're just going to take land. They're going to start forcing people into buses and shipping them to, I guess, the West Bank. And they are going to ethnically cleanse Gaza. It will no longer have Palestinians in it when Israel's done. And Biden, these Palestinians in our country just had to punish Biden. Yeah, stupid. That's the shit that bugs the shit out of me, right? The ignorant black people that voted to have Jackie Robinson's history erased and the Tuskegee Airmen's history erased, and the Muslims who voted for 2,000-pound bombs to be sent to Israel, and now 20,000 assault rifles. Biden wouldn't allow us to ship 20 because he figured they were going to end up in all the dangerous right-wing, there's a kind of a Nazi, the Nazi Jew, the right-wing Jew. They're going to get all these guns and just for fun, just kill Palestinians with impunity. And so those 20,000 guns are now getting shipped out thanks to Donald Trump. The man many of you voted for. I don't know why. Hopefully you will never make that mistake again. Please make a pledge to never vote for Republican again as long as you live. There'll never be a good reason for it. They serve no good purpose. They do no good things. Like what if they did one? They just cared about clean air. What if they cared about intelligent gun measures that would protect our children? Or what if they cared about freedom? What if they cared about the Constitution? What if they cared about justice? What if they cared about anything? But they don't. There is literally not one good thing that the Republicans have ever done in my entire life. And I was raised a Republican by Republicans, mindless, dipshit Republicans. My dad, like a typical Republican, looked down on the blue-collar worker, only voted for tax breaks, pretended to be a Christian, cheated on his wife with 100 different women while he was married to my mom. My dad would just stop at a brothel on the way home, a massage parlor. Or he would stop at his girlfriend's house because he had several girlfriends throughout their marriage. Like a good Republican man, one with no morals. Oh, God, the best thing at the protest was the one guy there. The one Republican was this meek little weak man who was like from Hungary. He wasn't American, sure doesn't fit in Hawaii, And he's like, I'm with the GOP. And he's filming me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, it was on film if you saw it. I mean, I couldn't even, and this is where, like, I'm so impressed by the Sam Cedars and the Dave Packmans and the Brian Tyler, the people that can articulate points when I just get so infuriated with the ignorance and the stupidity in front of me. I can't even come up with words. It's mind-boggling. It blows my mind up. Like, I can't even imagine anyone could be that stupid. And when I'm standing in front of one, I mean, like, we should have a place in the zoo where we pay Republicans so that people can go talk to them, like at a Trump rally, because they're so stupid. I mean, I would just love the opportunity to talk to one of these ignorant fools and hear their jumbled thoughts. Yeah. You know, if we're ever going to bring people back in zoos, we need to put Republicans in zoos because they are a special species. Ooh, all right, we're having fun now. Some British lawmakers went, I missed that one, sorry. Some British lawmakers went to Israel, as diplomats, and they got expelled because one was a Chinese woman, another one was a brown-skinned woman, and anyway, that happened. Yuma, a woman in a Yuma detention center, a Chinese woman who overstayed her visa, committed suicide in the detention center because it's such a god-awful, deplorable situation. Why don't we just set these people free anywhere? Let them out of detention. Set them free in Mexico or anywhere, and send them back to any country of their choosing if they don't want to be in ours. That's fine, or if we don't want them in ours. Just, you pick it. We'll send you there, and you can deal with their immigration, because everywhere else, immigration is going to be probably a lot nicer than it is here, except for El Salvador. Oh, man. Yeah, tribal gathering in Yemen. A tribal gathering. Just everyone obliterated, the entire tribe. And half of our public lands have been exposed to mining, deforestation, and so now they're just going to rape our public lands, right? The Koch brothers, different huge corporations at the behest of the Republicans, because that's how we're going to unleash our wealth, by destroying our natural assets, which I assume most Republicans were hoping for, right? Because there aren't any Republicans out there that ever hunt or fish. I'm sure none of them do. And since they hate hunting and fishing, another way that they expressed themselves when they voted for Republican, they were expressing how much they hate hunting and fishing. They won't be able to do that. They won't have to worry about it because those lands are going to be destroyed. Those species, those environments are going to be destroyed by their vote. But again, I think that's Republicans voted for their veterans benefits to disappear, their Social Security, their medical benefits to disappear, right? They voted to not be able to hunt and fish. They voted to speed up the genocide in Gaza and encourage it and give it a definition, right? Give it form, because it was just sort of ambiguous. Now it is a pointed effort for ethnic cleansing. They're going to remove every Palestinian from Gaza, and that is what's happening. They're attacking their water, their fuel, their food. It's just amazing, the pain and stuff. In a 10-day period, as many people as were killed on October 7th are killed every 10 days at least, if not more. So at what point are they even? They've killed 200 people for every one. And yeah, I know they've still got some hostages, but I think they're probably holding on to those hostages because they know that that's the last thing they have before you know, they just get, once they give those up, they're just going to get nuked, right? Metaphorically speaking, maybe literally, probably not literally, but I mean, and then of course, this is just going to inspire deep retribution and hatred from every Muslim country around Israel, because, you know, there's a shared existence with those Palestinians in their minds. And, you know, they're going to respond, react, and do things. And this conflict is not going to end anytime soon, and it's only being made worse. And no one wants to see murder. When will people grow up and stop murdering each other? Jesus, it's just sick. Anyway, all right, that is all that news. The fresh day. If you want to watch much better news than I'll ever do, Amy Goodman on Democracy Now! She's so good, but it's kind of rough news because it's the truth, and you know, you got to be ready for it. But it's unfettered. So yeah, the stock market looks like it was down a little bit today, but man, it opened up 1,500 down. And here's this, like I said, there's two things that drive the markets. It's really a lot less complicated than all these dipshits are going to make you think. And I mentioned before, news and numbers. And we don't know all or any of the numbers coming in from, oh, you know who's going to report this week is Delta Airlines. Airlines are going down, and we're going to see that, I think it's Wednesday or something like that. But we haven't seen any of the numbers that are going to reflect the contractions from all the trade disruptions that aren't going to go away anytime soon, and the bad news about the Gestapo going around affording nobody any rights in the United States of America, having no rights, no human rights, no civil rights, no legal rights to due process, because Republicans don't care about the law. They only care about doing harm, right? If we can hurt enough people, they'll scare other people from coming here. God, oh, it's gross. It's just, Republicans are the most disgusting, abhorrent, low-life traitors anyone could have ever imagined. And it's on full display as they kidnap people and detain them unlawfully. It is, yeah, but now everyone knows where Tom Homan lives. Oh, we're going to see news. We're going to see a whole bunch of news about people knowing where Tom Homan lives. I mean, just imagine. And all the other people who are doing harm to elderly, to the young, to immigrants, to workers, to students, to scholars, to journalists, to lawyers. How about Pam Bondi, this weak, dumb woman, just horrible person in every disgusting imaginable way. So a lawyer, because lawyers are tied to telling the truth and being ethical and having morals. It's actually part of what it takes to get your law license. You can't be an abject, lying criminal like your average Republican, right? And so when he was asked to represent the United States in the case against this nice young man who was illegally detained and sent to an El Salvadoran prison, he admitted that this is not constitutional. And what did Pam Bondi do? The meek, weakling, the Republican spineless person. They fired him, of course, because he was doing good, honest work as a lawyer. So he had to be fired. Retribution. How? Anyway, if you add up all the people who are having their lives hurt, destroyed, disrupted, attacked, the veterans, the FBI agents, the CIA agents, the lawyers, the journalists, the scientists. I mean, there's just so many people with so many different sets, amazing skills who've had the carpet ripped out from under them. Their life destroyed. It only takes a tiny percentage of those people to want to take the law into their own hands and to do harm to those who've done harm to them before we start seeing crazy shit being done to people who deserve to have crazy shit done to them. Deserve to be locked up, but because there's no law left in our country, they won't be locked up. But Tom Homan, people now know where you live. Oh, I can't wait to see that march. And then of course they're gonna crack down on it, and they're gonna just hurt these people. And then Tom Homan, he's gonna have to move. He have to move somewhere where no one knows that he lives there, and he is not gonna be able to go out to breakfast in town like he was hoping to do as an old retired man someday, because everybody hates Tom Homan. Now everybody hates Tom Homan in his hometown, where he thought he might be able to enjoy life a little bit, but that will never happen. And that's what I question. What would motivate anyone? I can't see myself being motivated to want to ruin my life in my town. I live in a small town. You know what? In a small town, you know what you got? You know the most important thing you got? It's your word. That's who you are. Are you known for being a thief, a liar? You know, someone who hurts people? Because that's not what you want to be known for. If that's what you're known for in my small town, you move away, right? Or you stay home all the time. You don't go out in public. If everybody hates you and knows that they should because of something you've done, all right? And that's how small towns work. Your currency is your word. It's your reputation as just being decent, right? On top of that, if you have a sense of humor, you know, it might help you get along a little. So yeah, there's all these people in Wall Street now, and they're doing the dance. Oh, maybe it's time to buy this stock or that stock. And maybe it is, but I think we're gonna have more bad numbers and definitely more bad news. And it's only 42 minutes. This is great. This isn't too long. All right. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Where is all my remotes? This one here. Let's see if I missed it. There's some good stories being covered here. So we're This is Democracy Now! The man-made recession. Tariffs throw markets into chaos. Poorest countries. We're gonna really hurt the poorest countries and the workers in those poorest countries. Richard Wolff says the America empire is in decline. He's been saying that for a while, and now it seems he's right. I sure wish he wasn't right. Why do Republicans want to bring America into decline, destroy the empire, right? I don't know. And meanwhile, yeah, this is just abhorrent, horrible, disgusting. All at the hands of these bribe-taking, bribe-making, criminal, abject, just felons, right? Republicans have all become felons as they become kidnappers and murderers and traitors. They probably fixed the election. Kamala probably really did win. Oh, and there's nothing more disgusting. Nothing more disgusting than hearing these sick, twisted people acting as though they're entitled to do all this harm because this is what the American people voted for. They voted for Donald Trump's agenda, and that's what they're doing. It's gross, Pam Bondi. All of you sick bastards. Stephen Nutlick. Oh, God, how about that guy? What a joke he is. Oh. And Netanyahu flies to a foreign country, but he has to fly around the countries that would make him go to jail, put him in jail for all of his war crimes, right? So that's interesting. And yeah, it's gross. All these disgusting Republicans doing disgusting things every day in the news, hurting everybody in every way, whether it's USAID, Department of Education, immigration, attacking the Smithsonian, destroying the African, the Museum of African History or African American History. I'm not even sure its proper name. It's the place, it's got the cool building. I wish I'd gone there before they started to destroy it, which they're doing right now. Is there any way we can take America back before it's too late? Before all the evidence of all the history and all the good things that are destroyed? Like, they're destroying pictures of Jackie Robinson right now. And you just, like, I hope there's copies of those, right? They're going into, anyway. It leaves us all speechless. We are speechless. We're flying our upside down Constitution. I really should read this, huh? Read what we used to have. I should read what we used to have. We used to have this thing called the Constitution of the United States. And Republicans didn't used to want to poop on it. But now they just don't think that it means anything. We are in a post-constitutional era, according to the Nazi Republican traitors. The Nazis, the Klansmen. Ugh, so gross. Sorry. Anyway, all right. So the stock market is looking continuously volatile. So it had like a 3,000 point swing today. It was down 2,000 points. And then on a hint of news that wasn't bad. It was just a hint of not bad news that Treasury Secretary was going to put a pause on these tariffs, although a lot of damage has already been done. And then it went up. It was down 2,000, up 1,000, and then it ended up down 397 at 37,917, but it hit 36 today. It was in the. Did it even hit high 35? Might have hit high 35. On the VIX is up, which is the volatility index, is higher than it's ever been. It's at like 50, 45, 50. It's never been that high. I don't think ever. I've never seen it anywhere close. Like when it's at 20, it's at high, which is interesting and weird that there's a volatility index. We're headed for a credit rating downgrade. VIX hit 45. Yeah, it's at 45, which is nuts. And it's also weird that there is an index. I assume you can trade it, but I would never mess around with that. Anyway, so you don't have to be invested all the time. Oh yeah, I don't have nothing to do with that. Or Bitcoin, I don't have nothing to do with that. These aren't even products, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even a company that you own a share in. And Netflix, man, I can't believe it's at $867 a share. Of course, it pays no dividends. If I had money in that, I would pull it out and just take my winnings and run. Sure, it might keep going, but damn, I know a lot of people got Netflix stock. Amazon is down precipitously. It's like 20 or 30% down, 30% down, something like that. It's at $174 a share. A lot of companies are down 40%. And so, which begs the question, is it time to buy? I don't know, man. Maybe. But maybe not. We know we're going to have a whole lot of bad news and numbers for the next 3.9 years, or 3.8 years. It's unless or until something good happens to change this course, but I just don't see it. Wow, look at that. I'm seeing the chart for the day. Down 2,000, up 3,000, down 1,500 to 350. Oh man, look at that chart. Wild. It's a wild chart. All right. Oh, VIX is right now at 46 because I'm watching this live. It's going up. I guess it's still trading. Yeah, I don't need none of that complicated shit. And you're welcome to do it, but I'm not betting on futures. I'm just a simple person who's looking for a good company that pays a good dividend, and I want to get an entry point that's lower than most people's, right? It's simple, the old simple buy low, sell high. Well, things are going lower, so it's just how low will they go? When will they hit their bottom? When will be a good time to re-enter or to enter at all? Those are good questions. But to the people who can figure that shit out, they're going to be the smartest people at every cocktail party moving forward. Bank of America. I owned Bank of America in 2008 when it was $50 a share, paying a 5% dividend, and then it dropped to $5 a share. Yeah, 1/10, and I didn't get out. That's why. That's why. I hope people took my advice. 11 days ago when I told them this is what's going to happen. I also did it to. I was estimating my friends on Facebook probably have about a excess of $1 billion in net worth. There's a couple hundred millionaires in there. A lot of 5, 10, 1, 2. I grew up in Marin County. Everyone I grew up with whose parents didn't do what I did, anyone whose parents gave them their house, they're all worth several $1 million, and so on. So that's the interesting thing. Twice now on Facebook, I have given perfect advice, downside. Like on February 12th, 2020, the highest, I happened to hit it on the highest day ever. I told people, hey, it's over. And they didn't believe me. They didn't want to believe me because I was watching the news. I was paying attention. I understand what exponential growth rate is, and that's what the pandemic was doing. It was growing at an exponential rate. And all the same things, disruptions in supply, labor, all those things were happening and were on the horizon. And so no one believed me back then, but now, right, this time, and I didn't do it, at 45,000. That would have been perfect. But there was still a lot of back and forth up until a week ago Wednesday, and that's when it opened high and then went, and then there was just common sense. You saw it, you felt it. There was no reason for the stock market to go up anymore for any reason. And then, right, Armageddon, tariff Armageddon, and then now we're down all kinds of crazy numbers. I mean, after today, we're down $7 trillion, right? $7 trillion in our country. Globally, probably another $7 trillion. So the world just lost $14 trillion in their 401ks. Unless they're actively managing their money, and they took measures when it made sense to, which would have been any time. And if the market goes down to 30,000, having sold right now will still be smart, but who knows where it's going. Will there be resistance? There seemed to be some resistance for some companies now, down 20-30%, not wanting to go down any further, but we'll see. We'll see. It's fun to be an observer, and when you stand back and see the big picture, like I've been doing for a pretty long time, in a weird way, it's sort of fun. When you can kind of see through the noise, look on the street, be part of the real world, and then be part of the Wall Street world, and see where they coincide or where they deviate. And it's been really interesting lately. And of course, the Republicans are walking around, and they're repeating all the lies these people are saying, trying to keep people calm. And the Republican bias in the business is gross, and it's there. There was this lady on Schwab Network earlier who was interviewing this super smart guy who was just explaining, what's going on, the truth, and that Trump is working in an analog manner, and he and others and the rest of the country is working in a digital world, right? He wants to bring back jobs putting shoes together for people at minimum wage, which is analog work, right? We are a digital country. We import the parts and then we assemble the thing here, but we don't make the parts necessarily, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, and on and on. Anyway, the world's always been a global trading market. There's never been a lack of globalism, right? You watch that the Shogun, you see, oh yeah, the Portuguese, they were bringing goods to Japan from Portugal, right? Because trade makes everyone richer, right? They were importing silk and spices and gunpowder from China to over there, and over there they had what they had, and they gave it to it, and everybody had more stuff. And that's what we're still doing. And it's not something to be afraid of. It's not wrong, it's not bad. It is free markets, making everybody, in some ways, richer. So long as we can do it without destroying the environment, keeping our air clean, our water clean, our food clean. Anyway, I'm starting to babble. Cheers to you. Drinking my coffee black, which might not be bad for you. Black coffee is the one. And if you didn't know this, I love teaching people something they didn't know. At Starbucks, if you're drinking black coffee, refills are 50 cents. Yeah, big giant refills. Starbucks coffee, 50 cents. Woo. It's a little warm here. I have a fan under the table. But yeah, it's a nice warm day here. Are you getting another crown? No, that was good. I'm not really I need to take care of my liver, moving forward. And I don't think hard alcohol is something that my liver really wants me to consume. I will look for a store that sells Moosehead beer, though. And that'll take me back to high school when I was, doing all the right things, drinking. God. I look at high school kids and I'm like, man, I can't believe what a rotten kid I was. Anyway, kids are so much better, I think, mostly nowadays than we were in the 70s and 80s. Oh, I did a deep dive on this. I tried to find him. I didn't know the whole story, but I grew up watching this news broadcaster at Channel 7 News, and retrospectively, he wowed everybody. He took over the airwaves. He shot KGO News from third to first place. He was Fred Van Amberg before that, but then he dropped the Fred and it became Van Amberg. And he did the news until 1986, like dominated in San Francisco Bay Area. And in 1986, he just quit and stopped at the peak of his career. And I didn't realize he just stopped. When I was 17 years old when he stopped. But I grew up watching this guy, Van Amberg, on Channel 7 News. He was the guy that reported about Patty Hearst and all the things that went on in the 70s and 80s. And was a really good reporter. And then 60 Minutes did a thing about him back in the day because he was doing news that was interesting and not so boring, which I guess... and they thought and looked at him like a tabloid newscaster, almost, because he was doing stories at the 11 o'clock news that weren't always being picked up by other stations, and so it's interesting because he was just a force in the Bay Area, and then he just quit. And I grew up on. I might try to be more like him as a news broadcaster as I shape myself into one. All right, it's under an hour. That's good. I gotta go because I gotta keep these under an hour. If I can do that, I can have more of a life outside of this. And one of these days, maybe at the end of the week, I'll go on Facebook too. I gotta try to figure out how to go on other platforms simultaneously. I got a lot to learn. Anyway, meanwhile, I am going to. Oh, and by the way, Annaly Capital Management is barely nudged downward. And when that happens, the 12 goes to 14. It's paying a 14% dividend. 14%, right? $20,000 pays $2,800 in 12 months, right? So after 1 year, you go from 20 to 22.8. Okay, that's put to work. Then it makes 3,200 or whatever, right? And so next time it's 2,000. 2 years later, you got $26,000. 3 years later, you got 30, right? By your fifth year, I'm pretty sure you've doubled your money, like without having to do anything. You just buy one stock, which is the first one. If you're starting your own portfolio, I think you should start with the one that's going to just put cash in your account. But it's also hard to look away from when it's just so sensible. And it's dropped from 40 down to 18, and it's got resistance. It doesn't want to go much further down. It's a real estate investment trust. It's always going to pay 90% of its either profits or revenues, I forget which, out to its shareholders. So that is investing for dummies. and also a great anchor to a portfolio. Now, on the other side, I mean, obviously Tesla's suffering, but the Lucid and Rivian might be growth stocks to look at. They're $11 and $2 a share, respectively. Right? Tesla's coming down from 488, and it's at 230 something. And Palantir it has backed off a little, but if you see weakness in Palantir, that's one company that it's going to end up on the surface just fine. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if that goes up fivefold in the next 4 years with the corruption in the White House. Palantir stands to benefit from all the corruption. Also, it's an evil company. And I'm almost sure that, damn it, I just broke 60 minutes. You know that's how they're capturing these nice, innocent people. They're using their phones to identify their location, and they're just going after them, just like the way that we bomb people in Yemen. There's a cell signal there, so we got to bomb that cell signal, right? That's how we're picking up these people. So if you are an immigrant, or if you know or love an immigrant family, it might be time to have them stay at your house and leave their cell phones back at their old house while they come stay at your house, and put on some surveillance and wait for and leave your door unlocked so that they don't have to break it to get in. Anyway, I imagine there's got to be all kind of stories of people wanting to protect each other from the harm of the evil Nazi Republican secret police that's going around disappearing people. How long will it be before we have freaking firing? You know, just going around just killing people because they're not tethered to, you know, the law, and they're all going to get off. Oh, and isn't it great? Oh yeah, we got to go after these guys. Meanwhile, Republicans just set 1,500 violent criminals. Many of them are rapists, murderers, thieves, people who threaten to hang the Vice President of the United States of America. They smeared their crap on the walls of the Capitol. They killed 4 cops. Depraved, evil, shittiest people in our country are now running around scot-free. They can buy guns again, and they're organizing, and they want to create hell on earth in the United States on behalf of the 34-time felon, sociopath, rapist, pathological liar in the White House. And so that makes us all less safe, in addition to all the scientists that were protecting our water, our food. We are less safe. The countries that now want to kill us, we are less safe. Anyway, all right. Sorry. I talked too much. All right, you have a great day. Do no harm, do no crime. Thanks for watching. If you're thinking about doing harm or crime, do less today, of course. Just because the news is depressing doesn't mean you got to be depressed. And you should know where you might be still exposed in the stock market. And if you're taking a profit, no one goes broke taking a profit. And if you can take a profit in something that you might not be able to soon because stock prices are going down, consider being protective over your investments. I've watched $50,000 turn into $22,000 in 2008 in the market, and it hurt my feelings a lot. It was so hard to build it back to 50 grand, but I did. And then I went through a divorce and lost everything. Well, mostly, I did. It just took time to lose everything. It was a slow hemorrhage. Divorce sucks when you live in an expensive town. I've been saying a lot of us. All right. Make the best of your day. Keep your chin up. and repeat after me. I will never vote for Republican again as long as I live. Republicans will not replace us. Republicans will not replace us. Republicans will not replace us. Because they want to. It's the great replacement theory. Republicans want to replace all the American patriots that care about law and order and justice for all and the pursuit of happiness. They hate happiness. Why are Republicans? Why are Christians? Why is their brand just hate? It just doesn't seem like a sustainable model to me. Anyway, all right, love you guys. Thanks for the support and the love, and thanks for supporting my channel. And if you do those things that everyone asks you to do, cool. But you know, it's a free country. Do whatever the hell you want. Isn't it funny how every time you watch everybody else, every time, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. Ring the bell, and oh my God, it is like I heard that from you 300 times now. Okay, I don't need to hear it. You know, whether it's this, everyone says that shit. So I like to be a rebel. I'm not gonna say it. All right, love you guys. Have a great day. Oh, you know what? Let's look at the ocean real quick. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm gonna turn on a live video of the ocean. We got winds like pushing out. We got a kite surfer going off. We got swells coming in, right? And that wind pushes the mist and the white just right out. It's beautiful. It would be cool to photograph up close. But yeah, he's got all the wind he could want. And there were some windsurfers out there too, but here, check it out. Through a dirty window. Here, let's zoom in on the guy. It's a little blurry. There's the guy. The big old kite surfing. And then there's a windsurfer right there. Look at that. All right. Oh, it's a beautiful day to be alive. All right. All right. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Talk at you, but I'll talk with you. You know. All right. I gotta shut up. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.